Here's that story about the cow intestines.
Oh, good. Gather round, everyone.
Houston,
Texas. On Thursday, a truck lost its load of hundreds of pounds of cow intestines while driving through an intersection in north downtown Houston. Now, why would a truck be carrying intestines of a cow?
It's a dog food factory.
Dog food?
I was thinking possible dog food or
Farm feed.
yeah, some type of feed or yeah.
One time when we...
Vienna sausage.
Well, maybe.
I mean, nothing gets wasted.
No.
is that Scrapple?
Well,
Could be Scrapple.
You know, Spam. I don't know what they make.
Isn't cow now? There's organ. I don't like a lot of organ meat like liver. Like and I don't like chitlins. But cow intestine is something too, right? Is that?
That's tripe.
Tripe.
I thought. Is that intestine or the stomach?
I
thought
don't know.
tripe was the stomach.
Maybe it's stomach, but it's all right there in the
Okay.
digestive
It's all parts.
tract.
Yes. And then what is chitlins? What's that?
Pig intestine.
That's
Yes.
pig intestine.
I thought that was the livers. What's
Well,
the chicken
livers.
liver?
Just
Chicken livers.
Yeah, type chicken livers. My grandma loved chicken livers now.
When my mom used to fry chicken and she would fry the chicken livers, I would eat that.
You like
Yeah.
it? Mm-hmm. Now, when I was a kid, I didn't like it, but I haven't had it in such a long time.
Not the gizzards.
Do you think your kids would have ever seen liver, Kelly, on a plate?
No.
I mean, it's just who eats that stuff?
Right. Not anymore. We don't. Of course, my grandmother used to have brains and eggs, in the morning.
Yeah, my father-in-law used to, and about
Out of
once,
a can.
About every 3 months, my mom, bless her heart, even when she was working, she'd come home and try to make us eat liver, and it's just
Yeah.
we just despised it.
My children are too soft for liver or brains and eggs. If I put brains and eggs on their plate, I mean, they would run from the kitchen. I mean,
Now, you
just
couldn't
no
tell them what it is
No, you'd have to. But they're so picky, they wouldn't even eat it anyway.
because of the look.
Yes, because all they eat. Don't get me started. It's all nuggets.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
Nugs
Now,
and tenders.
yeah.
nugs and tenders and cheeseburger occasionally.
And sandwiches.
Pizza,
I don't
that's
think
it.
I've ever had anything like liver or chitlins. I've never had any of that.
Oh, really?
No, never.
No, my grandfather, till the day he died, on his birthday, would always eat liver. Mm-hmm. And I remember just the smell of it was just...
Yeah, beef liver or calves livers.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, but it's texture.
That's what we
super,
had.
Yeah, I don't like the texture, but they say it's super rich in what, iron?
It's got lots
So
of
it's
supposed to
good
be
for
very
you.
good for you.
Well, organ meat is good for
Yeah.
you, I believe. And what you said, the texture is so bad.
Yeah, it was mealy. I
Yeah, it's very
never
mealy.
liked it. No offense against my mom, but
That was awful.
calves liver and chicken livers are both. That's why it was always so good fried.
Yeah, you had to fry it up.
yeah.
And, yes, definitely.
You could eat the fry and handle whatever's on the inside.
I'd put it on a piece of white bread and eat it.
Did your father? Well, we had, and we've talked about this once before. We used to have a product called liver pudding,
Yeah, there's liver pudding.
which is a meat product. Now we ate that fried and cold with mayonnaise on white bread.
Yeah, my
You
mom
know.
used to make that with eggs in the morning.
Yeah,
That's the same as liver mush, yes?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
It's almost the same thing, but it's like
It goes by different names.
I think so.
But scrapple and souse are different.
That's different stuff.
Those are
And
two
that's not
different
liver-
things.
That's
But,
not
but
liver
one of
pudding.
them's all the digestive stuff, I think. I don't know which is which.
Trouble. You want to talk about strange things you've eaten or eating weird stuff? Go ahead.
Well, growing up in Texas, and my husband, Toby, the British tennis pro, can confirm this story. Every year to open dove season, my dad would bury a steer's head underground. He would cook it for 48 to 72 hours, slow cooking. And then the first lunch of dove season, he would have people out. It's a big deal to crack open the skull, eat the brains.
Oh,
Toby, when I took Toby to the deer hunt, and you know Toby, Chris.
oh, I know Toby.
When I took Toby to the dove hunt, I told him he's going to challenge you on this. This is like a pissing contest, so just be ready. So my dad, they bring out the steer's head, teeth intact, ears intact, everything. He scoops out the eyeball, puts it on a Melba toast, hands it to his son-in-law, who he loves, but he can't understand a goddamn word he says. And
He's British. I know Toby.
Yeah.
He's British, yes.
and Toby ate it. He ate it.
Wow.
Toby's a great tennis pro. I know Toby. I saw him at the pickleball courts the other night. First time I'd seen him in a while.
He told me.
He
told me. He said that you were over in the beds, like stealing their pine straw.
Yeah, okay, all right, Trouble. Okay, you're winding me up. Now you're winding me up.
There goes Trouble.
Trouble tells the best
Here
stories.
come Trouble.
Trouble had a great story about pooping in a shoe once.
Some folks have the gift.
You have the gift of a great storyteller. I'll see Toby again soon. Thank you, Trouble. Always good to hear from
Does
you.
he put down the big paddle or the big racket?
No, he does both. That's what they do now. They go back and forth, tennis.
I know you could do that.
Well,
It's like driving IndyCar and NASCAR.
Well, yeah. Some people say that it one will hurt the other, but then others say that if you do it right, it can help your game. One can help the other. I don't know. That's trouble for you. But can you imagine
steerhead
a steerhead
cooked in the ground
with the brains and the eyeballs?
Smush the eyeball across a melba toast.
That's Biggie's movie, Dances with the Wolves.
Yeah, they do.
And when he makes his first kill of a buffalo, they pull it out. The Native American pulls it out and makes what's his name eat it, Costner.
Yes.
While it's still warm.
I was watching Red Dawn the other day up on Reels.
That's right. I knew I'd seen that in another movie. It's Red Dawn.
Well, in Red Dawn, one of them's a real rube. They have to go out and live on the woods because the Russians and the Cubans attack us.
Right.
And they're living in the woods, and one shoots a deer. It's his first kill, and they get up to the deer, and the other high schoolers.
Swayze and Sheen.
Swayze and Sheen are with C. Thomas Howell, and C. Thomas Howell has shot it. And they said, "That's your first kill, isn't it?" And he says, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, you got to drink a cup of the blood." Mm-hmm. So they cut its neck, and he's got a cup, and the steam is coming off of it, and he just takes it.
So you got to get the spirit of the animal in you.
That's right. And then I always thought,
No, thank you.
That's
No, you have to. No, thank you. I'm good with the kill.
I'll wait till the steaks come off the ground.
no. If you're one of us, you'll drink. And he drank it, and blood was
Yeah.
like running down his chin and neck. And I mistakenly then thought that every hunter did that for real. So when I would talk to my wife's cousins and stuff about, I guess you drank a cup of the blood.
God, why?
Red Dawn.
That's the Red Dawn, Another great scene from Red Dawn I'd forgotten. There was, the Cubans attack, and at first we were just on the
partnership
run.
with the Russians.
It's awful. I mean, it's really scary because they land right outside the high school and everything.
Yeah.
And early on in the movie, one of the Cubans is walking down the street. You see a guy. It starts with a close up of a bumper sticker that says, "When I die, you can pry my pistol out of my cold dead hands." And the guy's laying there with a pistol in his cold dead hand, and they pry it right out of there. I mean, it's like he's laying on the back of his. Yep. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
Little hidden scenes.
Mm-hmm.
No, here, you can have it.
Jay, you're talking about the intestines now, and this is what cow intestines were being hauled across Houston last week. Go ahead.
Yeah, P1 from Boone, your former stomping ground.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I sell intestines, and quite a bit of it goes to the Latin community, and they cook it up almost like you would their lengua or their tongue. They slow cook it, and then they crisp it up and serve it on street tacos.
Okay, all right. And you sell cow intestines?
I sell them.
Okay.
And it's literally called intestine, and I know you guys talked about tripe.
Mm-hmm.
Tripe is more of like you said, the stomach chambers, and there's two different types. There's more of a honeycomb tripe where you can wrap that. I know Chris Demm will know you can wrap steaks and stuff like that in caul fat and intestine. It adds more fat to the product. But the intestines is actually pretty good if you cook it up and crisp it up hard enough.
You just hear it.
Hit a food truck that looks like it might know what it's talking about.
Well, then they know. That's right.
Is that a commodity? Can you buy that on the stock exchange?
Stomach
intestines?
I don't know.
Sell.
Thank you, Jay. Great call. Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
This is what happened was the truck was driving through a neighborhood in North Houston.
What kind of truck totes this?
Well, I don't know, but it crashed, and now that's a good question. A lot of it came out, and then people were driving through the neighborhood, and this is one of the residents or someone who drove through it.
Ended up pulling up to her daycare, got out my car and couldn't figure out what the bad scent was. Walked back out with her, and stuff was hanging from the bottom of the car, and flies were swarming.
Because it's intestine. It's cow intestines.
How do you
all
clean
over
that
it.
up?
That's right. They're trying right now, but it's hanging around.
Big hose.
Grady, you're talking about eating organ meat, liver. Go ahead.
Yeah, my parents used to cook us liver probably every couple of weeks growing up, and that's what started my lifelong love of ketchup. enough ketchup on it, you can soak it down.
And that's
There isn't enough ketchup in the world.
That is true. You have to really coat it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Grady.
get it.
That's hilarious.
It was just gray and mealy.
It was. Ugh. I hated it. I hated liver.
I was in my 20s the first time I saw salmon because I always thought it came in a can.
Yeah, us too.
I promise you. Yeah, easily my 20s.
We had salmon patties, but
my mom used to fry them up.
Yeah, I didn't know you could get salmon.
I didn't know
like,
it was
like a
fish.
steak.
Yeah, like a steak. We didn't know that.
Like tuna,
we didn't know that
The
either.
only time I had it was out of a can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, that's exactly right. This is another person who owns a business nearby where the truck had its crash and dropped all those intestines.
The city truck pull up, and they're scooping innards off the road. Yeah, it's going to be here a while. It's going to
the stench, they say, will linger. For
Do you
quite
have to
some
let
time.
it linger?
You have to let it linger.